This video is live. As you can see on the right side of the screen, there's a chat above my head. That's because all of this is done live. And this video is going to be about the Despia budget version because I got a really good comment from pnusnerN who was like, yeah, do you think you can make this video like for budget Despia? And I was like, I tried it before in the past. It didn't really work, but they released new cards. So I'm like, you know, let's give it another go. It might actually work this time. All right, here it is. This is the deck. This is the big deck. I call this video budget, but in order to play Despia, you need to craft cards. I've talked about it in the past, and I'm sorry if you want to play this deck and only play rare normals. It's kind of not possible. You need to at least craft cards. So what I chose to do was I have some replays and you can see how the deck performs using the cards I did. I chose to use only one copy of each ultra and super rare card. What that means is if you own multiple copies of Gold Sword, you can play multiple. That's fine. But if you like don't even own Gold Sword or maybe only own one, like this is going to be your deck. So like it's only one copy of each of the fusions. And I do go into the fusions except this guy. Like I don't go into them. But I do go into the other fusions just because they're genuinely good. We do have the rare fusions in the extra deck just because I genuinely think they're very important to have here. Whether they're important being sent to the graveyard as material for Despia, if you're familiar with the deck, it sends stuff from the extra deck to the graveyard. Or just special summoning it as outs. I do want to say something about the deck. I wish it was more budget. I really do. But I don't really want to waste too much time. I've been jabbering too much. So essentially, the Despia Core, we're running all of the good, like normal and rares. We're running 3 Tragedy. Springans Kitt is essentially like Aluber, except it's only a rare, so you don't really have to use that much craft points. Its effect is if you have a fusion in your graveyard, you can special summon this from your hand. So that's a good effect. Also, when it's normal or special, you can add a branded spell or trap that's banished or from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So you can recycle materials, that's a good effect too. But the bad side is you have to put a card in your hand at the bottom of your deck. Now, I say that's a bad thing, but like sometimes you have a card in your hand that you don't want in your hand. You want it in your deck. An example would be maybe a Fallen of Albaz. And we're running 3 copies of him because if you want to play this deck, if you want to play Despia, you're going to need at least 2 copies. One works, but he's so important because you have fusion monsters that literally say you need him. You need Fallen of Albaz. And maybe not that one, but in order to play this deck, you do need Fallen of Albaz. It's a very important card. You could get away with 2 copies. I would run 3. You might be able to get away with 1, but it means some of the cards in the deck don't work properly and they're not going to be live, and it results in your hand being actually more brickier by cutting down Fallen of Albaz. Aluber is just extremely important. If you have 3 Aluber, feel free to use 3. You can cut down Springans Kitt because Springans Kitt and Aluber are essentially the same thing. I just put in 1 copy of Aluber just because I do genuinely think it's a good card. This card was recommended by Vegeline, who was watching the stream. They mentioned that this card is really good in the deck, and I was like, maybe. I mean, it's a light. That's what I was thinking. It was a light. It's a tuner. It has good attack. It works with Gold Swordsman, but it has a really good graveyard effect, which I never realized. During the end phase, if a fusion monster was sent to the graveyard this turn, just add his card back to him. It's free resources, free card every single end phase. That's kind of good. And then Gold Sword works really well with it because if this card is like in your graveyard and a card is banished, you can special summon a light monster. You can essentially special summon this card back. I put in Albaz the Ashen, just 1 copy, just because this card is the new Albaz card. It doesn't immediately get you into fusion plays. It's more of a card that once you already set up your fusion plays, once you already set up your board, you can just normal summon this guy and he like adds to your board and he makes it a little better. The reason I'm not running 3, and the reason I'm saying to run 3 of the original Albaz over like the newer one, is because in a fusion deck, you want to be able to fusion summon. If you're not fusioning summoning in a fusion deck, you're doing something wrong. So I had to max out on all the possibilities and increase the chances of you being able to fusion summon turn 1 in order for you to like actually survive. Because as soon as you can bring out your fusion, you're chilling. Your fusions are good. They'll protect you. But if you can't get your fusion out, you're just going to be a sitting duck. So that's why I don't really like Albaz the Ashen. In fact, you can cut him out completely. I left him in there just because if you want to play with him, you can. But if you don't want to play with him, because maybe you don't want to craft him, take him out. It's completely fine. It's there so you can use it to replace as anything else. We have Dramaturg of Despia. This is a level 8 monster that is very good, but it's good, but you don't need it. This card is not necessary for the deck to work. So if you have it, good, you only need 1 copy, put it in your deck. If you don't have it, don't fret, just take it out. It's not that important. This card you do need. This card is a rare and you need it for the deck to work. It's so powerful and potent. You're able to send one of your spells or traps from your deck to the graveyard directly, or even your monster if you need him there. And then this guy goes back in your deck and you just draw a card. So it thins your deck, it gets you resources in your graveyard, which can get you more cards. It's an amazing card. And then we have 3 of this dude, this Despia guy. He's a normal, and his stats are pretty trash. But the reason he's good is because when he's used as a fusion material, you get a special summon Albaz monster. Same as Tragedy, when it's used as a material, you get an added Despia monster. These get you more resources. And a card, I actually skipped over this card. Predaplant Chlamydosundew. This card is such a weird name. This card allows you to just fusion summon. As soon as it's on the board, whether it's special summon, normal summon, doesn't matter. You can just fusion summon using monsters in your hand or in your field. And if your opponent has Predaplant counters, you can use their monsters. So if you want to incorporate like a Predaplant Despia hybrid free-to-play deck, you can. It is possible. I really do like this card. I think I used it in my first ever Despia build too. It's genuinely an extremely good card in this deck. Very, very good. And I think that's it for the monsters. Now, fusion deployment, you may be seeing it and going like, 3 ultra rare, like what are you thinking, dude? How is this budget? This card comes in a structure deck. It comes in the Cyber Dark structure deck. This card only makes your deck a little better. It's not super mandatory. You don't need it for combos. It's just like, it just like helps you get the deck facilitated, like pushes the engine a little bit, but it doesn't drive the engine. So what it does is it allows you to special summon a Fallen of Albaz from your deck, which is good because Fallen of Albaz enables you to be able to fusion summon. So you have a way to get into your fusion summons even easier. Like, so it's an extra fusion summon card. Also, you can just summon your Albaz so you can get a monster as material. I generally think it's a very good card, and I do recommend you running it if you have this card available. Again, it comes in the Cyber Dark structure deck, which is like 1,500 gems. You get the Cyber Dark structure deck and this card. And I think that deck's pretty fun. Only 1 branded fusion. If you have more, feel free to run more. Now, you can play the deck without this card, but this is the best card in the entire deck. Hands down. This card, you get a fusion summon for free. You should run this card. So if you want to play this deck, I do highly recommend you craft this card. It's just that good. Over every other card you can craft besides the fusion, because, I mean, this spell card is useless if you don't have the fusion monsters. So you should probably craft those first. But the spell card is like the most important card in the main deck, 100%. Despia Theater, the branded, is a normal. It allows you to fusion summon. It also protects your monsters, very important. Branded openings lets you special summon from the deck, very important. Branded red allows you to fusion summon, and it also grants you resources from your graveyard, very important. These are new ones. I put these in there. Branded Sword, because it has a unique effect. The first effect is you can banish any number of branded spell traps in your graveyard, special summon like as many tokens as possible. That's kind of strong. You can special summon like 5 tokens, and the tokens have 2,500 attack and 2,000 defense, and they're level 8. It's a really weird card because it's very, very good. Hey, what's up, Blood Swordplay? I'm recording a video. You're gonna be in the video. But the real reason we're running it in the deck is because of the graveyard effect, which you can banish this card from the graveyard, target one of your banished monsters that has Fallen of Albaz monster mentioned in it, add that monster to your hand. So that's the real reason we're running it, because it has a graveyard effect, it gets you more resources, and we do banish our own monsters. There's a combo where we banish Fallen of Albaz to enable us to go into Mirror Jade. And Mirror Jade's like the best card in the extra deck. This card's very good. It's a new card from the like newest set. Branded Banishment. It essentially allows you to fusion summon during like either player's turn because it's a trap. Also, you can use your opponent's cards. That is cool. That is very, very, very cool. I genuinely do like this card a lot. If you own more copies, run more copies. Just take out Sword, run more copies. Banishment. It's gonna be worth it. Banishment is so good. And finally, we have Branded Retribution. This is an Omni Negate, but it's not as strong as it should be. It's kind of like you have to give up your fusion monster in order to negate something. So it can be really strong, but it's kind of like last situation. You don't really want to use it all the time. The real reason it's in the deck is because of its graveyard effect. You can just add a branded spell or trap from your graveyard back to your hand. The spell and traps are really, really good. And the extra deck, pretty much Titanclad. We're just running one of the ultra rares because I wanted to make it as budget as possible. You might not own some of these, which is fine, but I'm going to be quite honest. If you want to play this deck, the cards in the extra deck you will need 100% is Albion. Albion's very important. Albion lets you get into Mirror Jade. You're going to need Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade's the best card. You're going to need 1 Quartz and 1 Masquerade. Besides that, you don't need Lubian. You don't need that card. And Titanclad is, you don't really need it. You don't need it. And these other two, you should probably run them. The more important one is Sprint. And Brigand is, it's okay, but not super important. But yeah, if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments below. I'll try to help you through any decisions that may come up. But let me get to the replays. I can show you how the deck functions, even though we're only running like 1 copy. It doesn't matter. The deck's insane. Let's check it out. This is going to be the first duel. And our opening hand is, it's okay. There are some cards that you will see in this because like I was playtesting a lot and I was trying to figure out what actually works. One of the cards that was mentioned is Branded, or one of the cards that I didn't mention in the video is Branded and High Spirits, just because I found that you don't really need the card. Also, it's a super rare, so there's no real reason to run it. We're going to use Fusion Deployment, which lets us special summon from our deck our Fallen of Albaz. So let me pause. Because earlier in the duel, he used what was it, Morelio, and he added Treacherous Trap Hole, I think it was. This card can destroy 2 monsters on the field. I was thinking in my head like, well, he kind of can out me. As soon as I summon my Albaz, I'm going to try to fusion summon. He's going to activate his Treacherous Trap Hole. I'm going to be kind of screwed. He didn't. So he misplayed, and because he misplayed, we're able to bring out our Ice Blade Dragon. And we have it backed up with Branded Retribution. So if anything goes by or anything happens that I think like, man, I need to stop this, I can use this. But I don't really feel like I'm going to need to stop anything. I'm in a pretty good position. I'm going to use my Ice Jade, just banish his Diana right off the bat. He's going to use Treacherous Trap Hole, target his own monster, target mine. I don't think I want to use a trap. But it doesn't matter. The trap's going to go away anyways because he's going to special summon Mermelio. And Mermelio has the effect where when it's special summon, you can destroy a spell or trap on the field. So I'm going to lose my my back row, but it's not a big deal. So first effect, this spell comes back to the hand. I took it out of the deck, even though like that effect's really cool. It comes back constantly, mainly because it doesn't really do anything. Yeah, it keeps coming back to the hand. You can use that as discard fodder, but besides that, it doesn't do anything. He's going to negate our monster that we special summon with Spring, the Iron Dash, which would have added us a spell or whatever. So I'm just like, okay, well, I need a fusion summon. So we got to figure out something. We got a fusion summon. I top deck a fusion spell, so I'm very happy with that. We're going to immediately go into a fusion summon of Quartz. Quartz has the effect where when it's destroyed by battle or card effect, or excuse me, only when it's destroyed by card effect, you can special summon a monster for free. Bottomless destroys, so we're getting a free monster here. Not only that, in Despia, whenever you fusion summon, your materials have effects. So one of the effects is special summon a monster from your graveyard for free. The other one's add a monster from your deck for free. So we just got back our big boss monster for like no reason. He's gonna scoop because he knew he messed up. Let's get on to the next replay. Alright, this is going to be the second replay. Branded Fusion, my favorite card in this deck. It's so powerful. Activated straight off the gate. This is one of the combos I actually wanted to talk about. We're sending a Sunsalise, I don't know her name, the light girl, and we're going to bring out this dude, Albion. This guy's really important because we're going to banish himself and the Albaz in our graveyard in order to go into Mirror Jade. Now, it might be a little weird because it's like, why are you banishing your fusion that you just fusion summoned? This fusion can only be brought out by using a fusion, synchro, XYZ, or link monsters material. So you know it's a good monster for good reason because it's hard to bring out. We're going to use fusion deployment, bring out a free monster. We're not going to use the Albaz effect to fusion summon just because we have the field spell. We're going to do Masquerade and Defense, and Tragedy allows us to add a monster to our hand. That's it. And the main reason I special summon these guys in defense instead of attack is because what if he has Lightning Storm? Lightning Storm is destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. And it's a fairly free to play card that I think a lot of people might be running because it's a board wipe. So I want to avoid that card if possible. Also, dude, check this out. On his end phase, I felt a little bad. we banish his Sonic Chick. This dude's playing Sonic Chick. He's playing a fun deck. And here I am playing budget Despia, but it's not really budget. It's kind of expensive, but it says budget as you can get. And I'm like, I just felt so bad in this duel because I was like, man, this guy's playing a genuinely fun deck, and here I am playing this try-hard deck. But I mean, I wanted to see how good I can make it using like as little gems and craftables as possible. So we're just gonna reset some of our stuff. We have a lot of things going on. We're just fusion summoning. The game is pretty much over, so I'm just gonna speed it up. We're just summoning as many monsters as we can. Enter battle phase, attack once, attack twice. I'm gonna attack 3 times, magical cylinder. And he's gonna be like, he's at 600 life points. I'll just end the duel. Alright, this is the final replay. This hand is godly. This hand is so good. We have a field spell that lets us fusion summon. We have a spell card that lets us get a monster from our deck directly. We also have a monster in our hand that when it's used as a fusion material, which we're going to do right now, we get another monster. We have a card, Branded Opening, which lets us special summon the deck. We have Branded in red, which lets us add a monster from our graveyard and fusion. We're chilling. This was one of the better hands you can get, and I'm very glad for it. Now, I'm not saying this deck doesn't brick. Like, let's say you open up 3 Ad Lib or 3 Despian Tragedy and no way to fusion summon, you're kind of screwed. But that's why we're running a bunch of cards like Fusion Deployment and stuff like that, so we can get our fusion engine going. Because as soon as we start fusion summoning, we get a bunch of additional effects and we're chilling. We're going to use this guy and we're going to go into Mirror Jade again. Like I mentioned in the last replay, we're doing everything in defense because if he has Lightning Storm, we don't want to lose all our monsters. I mean, we wouldn't anyways because we have Branded Opening, which protects our fusion spells, but I'm just being careful. I want to be as careful as possible. He has 4,000 monster, cannot be targeted by card effects or destroyed. The thing is, or it can be targeted, but it can't be destroyed by card effects or battle. Mirror Jade's just going to banish it. We're not destroying it, we're banishing it, so it doesn't matter. He's running this unique card called Draw a Fate. If his life points are lower, he can reveal 3 cards, put them at the top of his deck, and then draw 1 of them. That's kind of OP, but the bad part about it is you can't activate any more effects. So I think he was hoping to do, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls, but this so I feel so bad. This card says you can't activate more than 1 effect, so he couldn't. He just summoned a big monster and that's it. We're gonna draw for turn. We're kind of chilling here. Tragedy's gonna grab back a card in our graveyard, fusion. If he activates anything, he's gonna take 600 points of damage. And let me speed up the replay because he's just gonna special summon a monster on the side of the field. It like lets us get a monster. It's such a weird card. It gives us a monster, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna use this as material. It's not a big deal. We're gonna go into this card just because I was trying to figure out ways to get rid of his first Time Lord, and then I realized, oh, I can just use his monster as material. So I'm gonna fusion somebody using his own monster. And we're gonna bring out Titanclad with 4,100 attack. Attack once, he's gonna negate the destruction of that monster. Doesn't matter, I have so many monsters, game's over. I hope this video helps. I think it was quite a challenge to try to make this deck as budget as possible. I really wish I could have made it using like no craftable ultra or super. It's just, you can't. But I did try to make it as cheap as possible. And as you can see from the replays, you can still do your combo pieces. So I hope you enjoyed this video. That's going to be it for me. Maybe I'll catch you later. Consider subscribing and liking the video and all that good stuff. Shows me a lot of love. And I'll catch you later. Peace. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe. You can check out all the new content I'm going to be making. But besides that, hope you have a great day. See ya.
It's your boy Soldier Boy in Dubai. Look at that camel behind me though, scratching his neck. Turn up. I got the Louis shoes dirty, goddamn!